great saying ixnay to the 5 weeks, but still 4 weeks is still a really long time. And I'm not saying we're
well, maybe that's what they were saying, right?
Yeah,
They just said, well, 4 weeks is fine, but maybe the Greece drama played out before them was a compelling change of heart.
I just want to underscore that 4 weeks is working for them pretty good. Switzerland has an unemployment rate of 3.5%. It had 30% higher growth than,
so they didn't want to botch that.
In the U.S. So this notion that somehow you give people free vacation time is going to bring down the economy is silly. Every country in the world except the United States has mandatory vacation time. Even the Chinese workers get a mandatory time off every year. South Korea gets 2 weeks. A lot of companies that are really doing well economically.
Well, we get 2 or 3 weeks.
No, there's no mandatory vacation.
You want it mandatory.
Well, there's no mandatory vacation time in the United States.
I don't think the mandatory nature of it would affect it one way or the other, do you?
Yeah, but that's the whole point, Neil. In a job situation, there is nothing that's mandatory. A job is a voluntary, mutually beneficial arrangement between an employer and an employee, and there's all kind of arrangements that go on in our modern workforce. Some people take higher salaries, lower amount of vacation time. Regulations like this are force. They're the government coming in and saying, you have to act like this. You can't act in your self-interest. So they're always destructive, as Liz points out, through the entitlement state of Europe. I think the Swiss are smart to reject them.
Mandatory just means that the employers have to give paid time off.
Force.
And I just want to underscore that a lot of the countries that have this are doing. Excuse me, a lot of the countries that have this are doing better than the United States. Sweden, higher growth rate, lower unemployment than the U.S.
But that's because their people are so hot. But people that are right. I'm joking. Calm down.
I mean, Germany, a lot of these countries are doing great.
Yeah, but I guess my only issue is I think the vote could have easily gone the other way if not for Greece, if not for Portugal, if not for this growing reversal of this nanny state thing in Europe. I think that gave even the Swiss voters who like to work maybe some pause on it.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, yes, the Euro debt tribulation still is nipping at the heels of people all over the Eurozone. And so, yeah, I mean, and there are other things. I mean, point well taken about Switzerland and Germany, but still, I mean, for the entire area, watch out because, boy, they really have a lot of problems over there.
Jonathan, where is this going? Do you think other countries take heed, sort of pull back the government reins, or no?
Well, Neil, collectivist centralized planning fails everywhere to the extent that it's actually employed, whether it be Soviet Moscow or collectivist Europe with Greece, Portugal, and the like. So, you know, where does this go in Switzerland? I don't know. I hope it doesn't take root
as a
here in America.
communist, you probably have to agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, what he said is completely misses the fact that China is one of the largest, fastest-growing economies in the world.
You just said you're a token communist.
I did not. I wish I had more time. I want to end on that.
With a very strong state.
Well, no, watch the primaries tomorrow.